Hey guys, what's up? It's Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get life-changing jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And Happy New Year. It's 12:30 in the afternoon here in Asia, but it's midnight in the US. So I wanted to wish everybody a happy birthday. No idea how many people will actually show up on this broadcast, uh, given that it is New Year's Eve. Let me see. Yeah, I'm starting to get a couple of people. Public. Yeah. So I just figured I'd hang out here because why not? And kind of reflect on all the good stuff from 2021 and looking forward to 2022. And one of my goals for 2022 is to make more videos. I do like expressing myself, even the morning after staying up pretty late. I didn't party or anything, but I just was up late, which for me is a big deal. So you guys, I don't know, you can feel free to say hi. Let me know what's going on with your New Year's. Happy New Year, everyone. Awesome, Eric. You are quite welcome. Have you emailed me yet? Shoot me an email, man. Seth@digitalcareerblueprint.com. That is a great New Year achievement for you. That's really great. That's what that's what I'm going to be doing this year, is trying to, expand out the course, get it for more people. I'm probably going to make some videos about other topics because I love talking about digital marketing, but I love talking about other stuff as well. And I want to get more comfortable doing these live broadcasts because you show up. I think I may actually start doing one-on-one coaching calls. I'm just floating this idea. I'm gonna make a video about it and post questions, see if people would be interested. I haven't done one-on-one calls in a long time, and they would not be cheap, but I've had people request them, so I'm thinking of doing that. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Mr. Nio, Channel 1, and Juan Salinas. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be on YouTube on the New Year Times right now. But again, it's the afternoon here. So I'm in a little bit of a different place. And still trying to figure out when the best time is to be doing these chats. I also am considering doing what Cappy does, Captain, Aaron Clary and some other guys, where you can maybe email me and ask for a video on a particular topic. I've never done that. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty small group. Yeah, greetings, California. You guys, well, it's still only 9:30 over there. It's so weird, man. I've been away from the US for 2 years now, and it's weird. I'm happy to be where I am, but it's definitely strange. Thank you, Mr. Nio. Who are you? Yeah, you guys can just type in whatever you want to say because I think it's a pretty small group. I also have enabled, I'm going to do more of these live streams, and I finally got that super chat function for people who want to stand out in the comments when there's more people on. Yeah, I'm just working on some really cool stuff inside the course. I'm creating a Discord group that is going to be an add-on service. So I don't know if you guys know this, but the course already has coaching calls, Facebook group, forum, emails, grading of assignments. It's already more support than you would get even in a college paying $60,000 a year. But I'm actually adding on this Discord group, which will be additional support from the coaches. Cause I really want to give it I want the experience of the course to be like you're in college, like the good parts of college. Like you have a community, you have all these people you can connect with on a daily basis. And the Discord is awesome. I just discovered Discord a couple months ago. I love it. It's so much. It's like real-time connections, video rooms, chat rooms, these bots. And so I'm going to have different levels of membership for people, but there's going to be more coaching calls. more ways to connect with other students. It's going to be really, really vibrant, and I'm psyched about it. You think you'll do the course for the rest of your life and will make prior students run the course and you retire? I kind of, that's a good question, Eric. I mean, I already, like, running the course has to be me, because I mean, there's more to it than just answering. I mean, I'm like, I do the marketing, I do all the technical support. I'm like running this as a business. But what I have done, I mean, I hired, Nick and Xavier. Before that, it was Andrea to be my coaches. And that helped a lot, because before then I was doing all the support myself, which is ridiculous. I was charging very little and offering like so much more support than any other course person out there does. And I was getting burned out. So I'm happy I was able to bring in some great team members. But ultimately, I like being involved in it. And I think that's what makes it special. So I'm going to keep doing it. I actually don't know. I mean, I don't know how long I'll do it. Happy New Year to you too, Eric. I don't know how long I'll do. I mean, I still enjoy it. And I still think there's so much more potential. Because really, most people still, compared to the general population, people still don't know about the course. They don't know about me, and they don't know about these skills. Let's see. What else can we answer? Happy New Year to you. How well can freelancing work if you have a main job? That's fantastic. I mean, freelancing, that's what most of my students, so here's the deal. And I've said this before, and I'll just repeat it again. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you, man. So here's the deal. There's so many courses that came out over the past couple of years that were really hyping up this idea of start your own social media agency and, make $10,000 in 30 days. And it's so unrealistic, because the average person doesn't have the sales ability or the mindset to go from zero to like closing deals that quickly. Plus, the reason those things fall flat is you don't have the skills. So you're kind of you're misleading people. You're like, hey, I started a social media agency 2 weeks ago, and you should be my client for $5,000. Like, But the path my students take and why they end up having success is get the skills, get the experience, get a job, and use the job as a launching pad. So you're at the job, you're working every day on accounts. Every day you're building more and more experience. You're getting more confidence. Then when you get a freelance client, you're just you're so comfortable, because you're working on clients at your job. And when they ask you questions, it's so natural. And then, you can work on your day job. And then when you work on a freelance client, you're not doing 40 hours a week. You're doing a few hours a week. One thing I will give you this advice, guys, for anything you do with freelancing, because I've hired people to freelance for me in many capacities. I mean, I have my coaches, I have hired advertising people, SEO people, I've hired people to do transcription, just transcribe videos, or to do, very basic tasks, maybe do captioning on a video, or just something. And here's how you become a successful freelancer, guys. You just have to be able to communicate and follow through. It's funny to me because talent is a big part of it, of course. Like, you have to have the skills and be able to produce results. But so many freelancers I've worked with have just dropped the ball on communication. Like, literally, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. When I mean that is like, if I'm your client, like, I obviously, you don't want me emailing you every 5 minutes. That's not sustainable. But like, I've had people, they don't get back to me, or they say, oh, I'm going to have this done by Thursday, and they don't do it. And I'm like, dude, this was like you had one job. But so many people out there conduct themselves without integrity. They don't follow through. If you can be that person that's in communication and make the client feel like they're taken care of, you'll be successful. Nick Schulander, when he started, I remember this from a couple years ago, he got an $800 a month client just building WordPress sites. And the guy shot him a testimonial, and he was like, Nick is always available to answer my questions. It was like that's the secret. Like, if I've worked with a couple of ad people myself, because I like I have a hard time advertising my own product. And it's like, dude, if you just say you're going to do something if you say you're going to do something on Tuesday, do it on Tuesday. And if you're not, apologize and say, I'm sorry, I have to reschedule. It's a basic communication skill that a lot of people lack, and you can stand out by having those. Let's see. What do we got here? You're welcome, JD. I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that, man. I'm happy to hear that, and I'm glad. Hosting or, uh, that's an interesting. So look, when it comes to website hosting, guys, um, when it comes to website hosting, so Hostinger, I did speed test. So I saw a couple of my students using Hostinger. When it comes to everything, really, you get what you pay for in most. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Uh, my internet is very fast, but sometimes it just goes out. Can you guys see me now? I'm gonna plug in my cable, my LAN cable here. Let's see. Yeah, this is like one of the quirks I found over here is that not, so then they won't it's really, they'll check and say, oh, it's working now, and I'll be like, yes, but randomly it goes out from time to time. Can you hear me now? Hello. You guys hear me now? um Matt, great course. Oh, so I'm sorry. I was answering the question about hosting. So let me get to that. So for channel one. So yeah, the hostinger, I just did a speed. I would say here's what you do. Find a website that's hosted on that service and do some speed test using, Google's page speed or GT metrics. And what I found was, I mean, HostGator, I recommend HostGator because I think it's like, okay, it is a shared hosting service. It is not a high level one like SiteGround or Kinsta, which is what I'm actually going to be switching to, or Liquid Web. Those are the premium. It's a shared hosting service, but it's good enough when you're starting out. And I've done speed tests on HostGator, and it's like, it's okay. It's not as fast as SiteGround, but it's okay. I did a test on a student who was using Hostinger, and it was very slow. Like, it was lagging when it was loading to me. So that's really the thing is, like, I wouldn't sacrifice a lot of speed for a few. I mean, we're not talking about a lot of money. We're talking about, $3 a month versus $7 a month or $10 a month for your entire website. So I don't have any experience with it, but I tend to stick with, like, for my newcomers, I recommend HostGator. And I mean, if you can afford SiteGround, which is like $14 a month, I would recommend SiteGround. It's definitely faster. You could literally just do a speed test. You'll see that it's faster. Now, what should I talk about? Let's see. You're starting to feel unmotivated or discouraged. I'm going to talk about one of the reasons I'm creating the Discord community. And by the way, Jay Cool, are you in the course or are you just talking about in life? Because, I mean, that's kind of a big issue for people. I was going to make some inspirational videos about that topic, like what to do when things get tough. I mean, I don't have a quick answer, but one of the things I found in my life is that mean, you have to have a vision. You have to have a vision of something. Like this is why life becomes so terrible for people. This is what my life was like in my 20s. I had no vision. I had no hope. I was just grinding it out and like wondering why I couldn't make money. Like I had this college education. I thought I was kind of smart and I was waiting tables or working in offices, entering data like a machine. And I had no vision. And that's what I think you feel like you're grinding it out in life. But if you have a vision, that's why I like digital marketing so much and why I recommend it to almost everybody, just because it gives you that foundational skill and possibility to then have the space to pursue some kind of dream. It's like if you're working as a waiter, if I was working as a waiter, but I had a vision, and this actually did happen for a while when I was waiting tables and I was working on my movie back in 2006. The first time I tried to make a movie, I didn't pull it off, but I was trying to. And I had this vision and something inspiring to me, which was my movie, and it made the job different. Like I'd walk into work, I'd be excited, I'd be lit up, because I'd be always thinking about my main passion, and then the waiting tables or my day job was just a kind of a means to an end. But you gotta also, Jay, you just gotta get on YouTube or get a book by somebody who's a good influence. You know, you gotta surround yourself, like read like The Power of, what is it, The Magic of Thinking Big, or The Power of Now, or like books and YouTubers, people like Gary Vee, positive influences. The biggest problem people run into if you're having discouragement, I think, is you're either isolated. I've been like that a lot myself, or your friends and your family are bad influence. That's one of the biggest problems people have. It's like you're trying to do something with your life, you're trying to do something different, and you got people around you who are negative. If you have negative people around you, you got to cut them out, or you got to figure out a way to be neutral with them and not be affected. Yes. Still going through the course. Do I have any tips for? No, it's good. Easy WP. I don't remember what I asked you, Matt. You said easy WP is good too and very easy to use. Do you have any tips for marketing data, product data analysis? I actually don't. I'm not really that experienced, but what I will tell you is I've had students. So basically what you want to do is you want to start if you're already in digital marketing, this is Ballflake asking this. If you're already in digital marketing, then you just have so many options. So I have students like Kayla, who's now in analytics. I just got a message. Actually, I still need to post this email from, I think his name is Rahul, who's working at Facebook as a data, what the heck is he? I have to look it up. He's basically a data analyst, but it's a much more fancy word that I don't even know what the heck he's doing. But he started where all my other students started, which is getting the basic skills, getting actual hands-on real world work experience. And once you're in the club, so to speak, then it's very easy to specialize and say, I really want to get into analytics and things like that. But data, yeah, it's whole other thing. And I just sort of teach the very beginning of data. And again, it's like I teach people the alphabet. Once they can read, then they go off in their own directions. Kayla is all into analytics and levels I don't even know about, Cool, Jay. Yeah, Jay, if you're in the course, that's another thing that says, get on the coaching calls, get into the Facebook group, introduce yourself. And I would recommend getting into the Discord when I launch it. You're just going to you really just want to surround yourself with other students, other people who are pursuing the same goal that you are, and the alumni, and it's a very positive environment. That's really going to make the difference. Cool, Wonder Dude. Yeah, discount Discord group. You'll jump in. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Discord group is basically, there's going to be like different levels of membership for people who are in the course. And like I said, because it is a lot of work to put together and manage a Discord group. So it's not like a free thing. The Facebook group is very easy for me to manage, and that's cool. That's why it's part of your fee. But there's going to be a low price option for people who just want the networking and the chance to hang out with alumni. And then there's, monthly, there's going to be the option to have a private chat with Nick or Xavier, and then more coaching calls, and then even one-on-one calls. And this is for people who are really into the course and you're doing the work and you want that. I know a lot of people want that confirmation and that confidence that comes from connecting with someone like Nick or Xavier, who's already successful in the field. How old was I when I got my first digital marketing job? I was 32, 33, I think. I was Oh man, guys, you wouldn't even believe it, man. I mean, I was, I had come off of being unemployed for like a year. I had like been laid off during the Great Recession. You guys, this is so, I'm older than most of you guys. So it's like 2008, 2009, I lost my job. I was on unemployment. And that's when I learned digital marketing. I spent that year of like trial and error, which is like what my students don't have to deal with. And then so my parents were coming to visit. And I remember I was still feeling pretty low because I didn't have a job. And then I was telemarketing. And then I saw that posting for account technician with all the stuff I taught myself. And then I got that first job. And it was 2011, I think. So yeah, 33. I'm 43 now. Just reading reviews, the power of now. Yeah, guys. I mean, there's a whole mindset aspect to everything that I try, I give you what I can in the course, but mindset in and of itself is a whole other course. It's a whole other pursuit. I've been doing a personal development for 20 years. I didn't when I was 20, you guys wouldn't have recognized me. I mean, I was a good kid, but man, I was all over the place, and I had to do put a lot of focused effort into developing my mind, my spirit, my emotions, healing, like psychological stuff, just like communicating properly with people. It's a whole thing. I mean, it's a shame they don't teach any of this in school, but at the same time, I wouldn't want any of my teachers teaching me this stuff. Do you think Google will become very automatic? No, man. I mean, I do have a video on this about automation. This is the thing. AI it's a tool. We still don't have, okay, think of an airplane. There's autopilot, right? But it's not like in the movie Airplane, which by the way is hilarious. If you guys are too young to know the movie Airplane, watch it. It is one of the funniest movies ever made. It's about an airplane where like everyone gets food poisoning and someone has to win. It's hilarious. But there's an autopilot in the movie called Otto, and it's this inflatable guy, and he literally like flies the plane like a person. But that's not what autopilot is. Autopilot is like once the pilot has like taken off and done, the planes don't take off by themselves. You need a pilot. Then once they're they're at a position where they can fly essentially straight for a long distance, you have autopilot, just like cruise control on your car. It's not like Knight Rider where I used to think that that's what cruise control was when I was a kid. The show Knight Rider from the 80s, it's literally the car could talk and it could drive. Like, so you could literally just go to sleep. Or Tesla, they have their automated driving cars. I still don't fully trust that. And then there's like, the robot cars with Google. But anyway, that stuff, the point is advertising is just, it's like autopilot on a plane. Like, yeah, you can give Facebook and Google so much data, and based on their incredible data analysis and algorithms, they will be able to automate stuff and like optimize, like, these are the people who should see your ad or this ad or that ad. But Google has tried to do this with their local advertisers. That's why this is all the proof you need that AI is not going to replace any of these jobs. Is that at least not, I mean, again, maybe in 20 years, I can't say in the future. In 20 years, if we're actually dealing with robots that can talk and like do stuff for real, maybe that'll happen. But in the next 5 to 10, 15 years, I don't see that, because like Google continuously tries to automate things, and they do this with their local businesses. So you're a local guy that runs a pizza shop, and they're like, hey, Google's so easy. Just type in the name of your business and your website and we'll automatically make ads for you. And they're terrible. Now, here's the proof. If Google's AI stuff was working, if all these small businesses were just like, hey, Google just does it for me automatically and I'm making tons of money, there would be no digital marketing jobs. The reason these jobs exist is because businesses, small, medium, and large size businesses, need someone to manage these advertising accounts. And that's how it is. It wouldn't have gone from 40,000 to 250,000 jobs a day to if AI was going to replace things. Yeah, it's a tool. It's not a substitute. Absolutely. And it's definitely a good tool. Like basic manual creation of accounts. But once you get data, that's when the automation comes in. And Nick's going to be getting more into that, into some of the more advanced training. Brendan, thank you for the super chat. I think it's my first super chat. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, keep at it, man. And keep, Brandon, if you're in the course, make sure you're getting on the coaching calls. Make sure you're in the Facebook group. I don't know if I've seen you in there. And check out the new Discord, the add-on support I'm going to be adding soon. And you're welcome, man. I do enjoy circumventing the college industrial complex. It's so mind-blowing to me, guys. It's so mind-blowing to me that people are still paying for college. I was going to make a free webinar for parents and see, parents are brainwashed for 20 years that they need to send their kids to college. But here's everybody's stressed about money. And I'm just 99% of middle-class families, their stress is based on college. They're like, how do I pay my rent? Or a mortgage? How do I pay for food? How do I pay for my kids to do this, this, and this? And then how do I pay for their college? And if you take college out, you just save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in stress. And now you can live your life. It's crazy. So thanks, Brendan, for that. Human knowledge plus AI equals MJ and Pippin. There you go. I like that analogy. I always love a good MJ analogy. That's really true. You're right. That's a good one. If MJ's by himself, he's amazing, but he needs his team. And then Pippin's, that's really great. I like that. Seriously started studying now since October, been lurking around. Cool, man. Wonder dude. Yeah, man, everyone has their own pace. Is ad taxi a good start for PPC? Yeah. That's why I mentioned them. I mean, they're still a great agency. For sure. What else did I miss here? Is the Google Ads certificate enough to start applying towards job? EKG2Dev. Are you in the course? It's helpful. It's helpful. I mean, if you can find, I explained in the webinar, I explain in my free video, because here's the deal with the jobs. I'll just tell it to you now. Okay, there's 3 different types of job postings, either 250,000 jobs that are open or the 70 or 80,000 entry-level jobs. First of all, you get a lot of jobs where they will say you need 3 to 4 years of experience, but that's not true. My students get those jobs all the time. But there's I would say there's 10% of the jobs are rigorous, and they're you have to have 2 years of experience, and it's non-negotiable. But it's honestly not the majority. And then there's 10% of the jobs, which is what your situation might be, where they're looking for junior level, entry level. Hey, we'll teach you everything from the ground up. You don't have to show us any knowledge of digital marketing. And if you show those guys you have a Google Ads certificate, that could get you a job. But what you really want to do is what I teach in the course, which is to generate your experience, put together the right resume, and then the Google Ads certificate is the cherry on top of the cake. The certificate alone is kind of just the cherry. So if you just walk to a company I got a cherry, some places might accept you, but they really would like the cake and the cherry, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Hey, Chengiz, are you in the course? Because when we're getting into, you asked a lot of questions. You guys try to limit it to 1 or 2 questions when you're on the chat here. There's a lot of people. If you follow, I mean, you got some of these questions you want to ask in the Facebook group or inside the community if you're in the course. Yeah, that's the best place to do it. But yeah, I mean, in general, yeah. I mean, if you're going to want to get a PPC job, you want PPC knowledge. Yeah. Happy New Year, Donald, or Austin. Do you go by Austin, Donald? Your emails say Austin. And definitely, Chengiz, just if you, and for anybody on these chats, please don't all caps. And in your messages, never all caps. It's not. If I get a message in all caps, I delete it, just so you guys know. But now Matt's good. I don't talk about him too much on the YouTube because of all the stuff, but he's great. He's in Vietnam. Oh, Austin is your middle name. So I was going to say. Okay, that's actually a good question, Lava. Do you think the bar for expectations will rise as far as getting a job in the field that seems to be getting more notoriety? I feel like compared to 5 years ago, DM is more known. It is better now, or at least the same, if not better now, than it was. Because here's the thing. Sure, the term might be a little bit well known, but the the average mainstream individual still does not know about these jobs, guys. It surprised me. When I started the course in 2016, I thought to myself, okay, I probably got about 2 or 3 years until this is saturated or the colleges catch on. Okay, cool. It hasn't happened. There are now 250,000 open jobs in the US in digital marketing every day. In 2019, that was like 50,000. So there's 5 times as many jobs. First of all, that's just like it's the COVID thing blew everything up. All these businesses that weren't online were forced to get online, and it changed the landscape. And on top of that, the colleges still do not teach digital. And if they do, it's an elective. It is mind-blowing. You have to imagine there's millions of people going to college every year. There's millions of college marketing majors. They're not being taught these skills. I couldn't believe it myself. I really thought by now they would. And even if they are teaching digital, they're not teaching it the right way, in such a way where a company is going to hire you right away, like with my students. Like literally, they're getting like a little bit of theory or some kind of BS project. So yeah, and it's not that well known, guys. I mean, I know if you watch my YouTube channel or you watch Gary Vee or something, you're in the minority, especially for my channel. I only have a few thousand subs. But I saw an article on CNBC. I try to find it. Literally, it said like top most in-demand skills coming into 2022. And I was thinking, oh gosh, this is it. It's gone mainstream. They didn't mention a single technical skill, guys. They didn't even mention web development. It was like massage therapy. Oh, okay. I thought my internet went down again. They are teaching the 4 Ps of marketing. Yes. What are the 4 Ps? But you're right. They're teaching so much outdated. Yeah. Product, price, place, promotion. I'm seriously, guys. Protestant warrior. You're absolutely right, Des. These programs are so unbelievable. But it's like, you have to understand this about college. It's like the government. Do you know why people don't like the government? Well, there's a lot of reasons. It's associated with being slow and bureaucracy. There's bloat. When you have so many people and you have an institution that is really old, things move very slowly. And these marketing curriculums are not updated. And a lot of them, like I actually put this in some video. I didn't want to be ageist, but I just had to be real. NYU, where I went to school, their marketing program, they have a picture of like the professor, and he's got to be 85 years old. This guy is old. And I'm just like, how could this university, like these professors get tenure and then they never have to be accountable for their quality of what they're teaching again? And a lot of them had their success 30 years ago when advertising was totally different. So, yeah. So I'm going to Caps means boss vibes. I'm going to do, I look at Aaron Clary. If you guys are friends with Aaron or followers, Aaron's awesome. I've met him in real life. He's actually, don't let him know this, but he's actually quite a good guy. And but he does these live streams like every day for hours. And I'm always like, how do you talk that much? But I'm going to work on building my stamina. If English is not my first language. So, okay. I'll send, you know what? Let me post this link. So one of my students who, I actually am trying to get an interview with him, but I don't think he's a little camera shy. Hold on. Can you guys see me I think you can see me while I'm looking for stuff. Let me just look at this. Zhao. Okay. So Zhao, I'm going to try to share my screen. So you tell me if you can see it. Okay. So Zhao makes about $80K a year. And he actually told me he immigrated to the US and he was working in a restaurant. And he's from, I think, Brazil. So he was only speaking Portuguese. So he didn't even really speak English when he first got to the US. And now he's crushing it. And I'm actually trying to get him to do an interview. But my point is, all right, I'm going to stop this. Can you guys see my screen? Just let me know. because I haven't done that before. So when it comes to English, you have to be able to speak fluently enough to communicate with, especially because if you're where is your, okay, yeah, Patrice. You have to be able to communicate with people, but you don't have to be like an expert writer. That's what I kind of want to get to. You know, like some people write to me, like I've had one or two students where they literally have trouble putting an English sentence together. And in that case, it's going to be a difficult thing for you. And I think you should beef up your English skills. But if you can write an email and people can understand, maybe you don't talk as smoothly or you don't have quite as many idioms or, slang as we do as native speakers, that's fine. And as far as copywriting goes with PPC, that's a very narrow skill that you can learn to do. So again, being a first, and actually I realize now you said it's not your first language. So yeah, if you speak English well now, you can do it. And you do want to be able to communicate with people. But what I found is a lot of my students who come into the course who are introverts, they build confidence. And by the time, like actually Diego, who I just interviewed Diego and I did a video with him about dropping out of college. We're going to do one about having immigrant parents. He is an introvert, and he's managing the whole marketing department of this real estate company. And he was explaining how being in the field built his confidence, so he's not really introverted anymore. And Jeremy Viveros was the same way in the interview. I remember he talked about that. I want to connect with some alumni who already have jobs. I am in the course. Yeah. Well, EK2Dev. Yeah, man. I mean, I said that's what the Discord is going to be for. It's like, again, you can always reach out to people because my students are very giving and open. But I mean, again, with the Discord, my idea was there's going to be like rooms where people, because what happens with the coaching calls is, this is the thing, you have to pay. Once somebody's a professional like myself or my students, you have to pay for their time. And a lot of my students are very generous. Like they give so much of their time. People don't even realize that this is a $200 an hour call or, a $100 email they're getting from somebody. But because I have to pay my coaches, I can't pay all my alumni to be coaching every day. It's not sustainable. But in the Discord, I basically have said to them, hey, look, guys, and I've talked to dozens of my alumni. Here's a Discord. Come in when you want to hang out. And a lot of my students, again, they want to give back. They want to talk to the students, but they don't have the time or the ability to commit to a weekly call. But if I say to them, just pop in when you want, a lot of them are going to pop in. A lot. Yeah. Angelina, I remember you writing to me. And I remember you also asked me about YouTube and Instagram. And I said, I don't teach YouTube ads or how to build a YouTube channel or organic social, because again, those are not high income skills. So yeah, if you could build a YouTube channel, you could monetize it. But building organic stuff is outside. I mean, SEO is challenging, takes a lot of time. Building a following on Instagram is very challenging. And I honestly don't know how to do it. I mean, I use paid ads and whatever word of mouth I have. But Singapore, Angeline, Singapore has a really good job market for Southeast Asia. Singapore is a unique country, higher cost of living, higher GDP, more jobs, more money. And you can just go on LinkedIn, search digital marketing in Singapore. You're going to see a lot of jobs. The Discord, that's a good question, Donald. I am working on it. I'll even show you guys, hold on, let me share this because I'm so psyched, but it takes a lot of time to set this up. So basically I have all these different rooms with all these different, there's going to be, study rooms, hangout rooms, private study rooms, places to get study buddies. There's the diamond, silver, gold levels. I have to set up all these permissions. I'm learning how to use bots, all this stuff. So I wanted to launch on Monday, but that's not going to happen. So I'm shooting for the end of the week. That's my goal. Next week at the latest. Yeah. Ron M Digital. Yeah, Ronis is one of my affiliates. Yeah. Cool, Angeline. We look forward to seeing you in there. Do I need Google Ad Certificate for Ad Taxi? Yeah. Guys, if you want to follow the steps in the course, and even if you're not in the course, I tell people you want to get certified, Google Ad certification. It's free. You should have it. Every professional search person has one. it's not like, it's kind of like I said, it's being a truck driver. You got to have a license. I mean, it's not exactly the same because you can run ads without it, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know a good analogy. But you should have it. And it's so easy. That's the thing. Like, why skip it? What makes me happy? That's a good question, Aaliyah. Thank you. I really love living where I live in nature. I love going to the beach and swimming. I love getting outside. I've been making an effort to get off the computer more. I do love connecting with people, and I like teaching, but I like movies. I like video games. I love The Last of Us Part 2. I hadn't played PlayStation or video games for 15 years. And then last year I bought a PS4, and it's awesome. But thanks for asking me that. I wanted to kind of bring more conversations about like overall fulfillment into the channel. Cause I love focusing on money to help people. Cause I think you need money as a foundation, and you need marketable skills, in-demand skills. So you have flexibility and you're not stuck in a shitty job, but it's an illusion that money is like going to make you happy. It's a very difficult illusion to break free from, especially in our culture. So I'd rather pay for this Discord group than join. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, I agree. I know that's become really big on Discord, also those NFT groups. And there's, that's what I look. This course has been around since 2016. I don't know any other. There have been courses on like Amazon and FBA and flipping. And my experience with money and fulfillment, leading back to your question and to your comment about arbitrage groups, is like, you're better off focusing on one solid thing that you're passionate about than chasing after something that you think will make you a quick buck. When I started in digital marketing in 2010, I was chasing, it was the same thing now as with NFTs and crypto, except it was digital marketing. And you literally could set up an affiliate site in 5 minutes and it would start making you money in 3 days because Google wasn't sophisticated. And that was exciting. And I did that in the beginning, and my friends did that. And then the algorithm changed. And I discovered, like, I was trying to run 10 different websites. I was doing a website on car insurance. I was doing a website on, I don't know, any affiliate product, weight loss, getting abs, anything I could do to make money, I would pursue it. And I didn't make any. Then I did one on film school and filmmaking because I'm really passionate about it, and I made money. And then I made this course about digital marketing, which I was passionate about, and it's made money, and it's been fulfilling. So it's very tempting to chase opportunities, but I don't recommend that. And especially if it's become hyped up and everyone's doing it, it's more than likely more people are losing money than making money. Especially not into PC gaming. No, I can't really, my gaming, like, so I grew up in the 80s, right? So I grew up with Nintendo. So when my friend in 2006 showed me an Xbox with all the different buttons, I broke my brain. I was like, I can't, well, I have to turn and strafe and do all this shit. So now I've come back and I can do PS4, but I don't have the attention span. Like when I was a kid, I played Zelda for hours. Now I'm like, I played through Last of Us 2, but I can't like devote my entire life to these games. And also, I have, a business and stuff to do. I do love Rocket League. Anyone here play Rocket League? I love that. I play the drop shot mode. That's how I chill out. Yeah, arbitrage. Yeah, man. When you have a concept that sounds good, it's like, like somebody even asked me about flipping domains, and I was like, it sounds exciting, right? Like, hey, I'm going to buy this domain and sell it to someone for, 10 grand. But it doesn't happen that much. Realistically, most of the domains have been taken. I actually, in 20 like years ago, I bought this domain called painpros.com with a dash because I was doing healing work, and I never thought about it. And this was kind of interesting because I did a hypnosis CD for a few days about money. And one day, some guy sent me an email, and I thought it was a spam email, but he said, I want to buy your domain because I work for a topical pain cream company in Florida, and it's called Pain Pro, and we need your URL. And I negotiated him from $500 to $1,500. And that was like mind blowing at the time. I was like, holy shit. But that was luck. Any one of your students ex-accounting majors? Actually, Protestant Warrior, that is a great question because I just interviewed a stay-at-home mom, Harvinder. I don't know if you're watching this. She was an accountant before she took the course. So yeah, she was actually working in accounting, didn't really like it, and also wanted to be home with her kids. And then she took the course and got a remote 60K job. So that's a good question. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there were any other students who were accountants. I can't think of it. Well, it's also me. I wasn't an accounting major, but I worked in accounts receivable for about a year and a half. So not the same thing exactly, but close. What is VUR FYI? Is that a spam comment? I don't like that. I don't understand that. Okay. What's the easiest way to explain marketing to unaware parents? Well, Yarker, actually, that's a great question. What is your intention in doing that? Because sometimes some parents are just not going to understand it at all. If your goal is to explain it to them so that they'll let you do something like, drop out of college or take the course, clarify that. And I'll see what I can answer. But for a lot of people, I say don't even try. Because like my parents, when I first started doing this, it took them 5 years to understand. And now my parents, they're cute. They'll like send me an article. It's like, oh, we just saw, in this TV show they were talking about SEO, and they like kind of know what that is, but they still don't get what the actual job is. In general, for people who don't understand, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is like, so it's like, look, advertising used to be, where do people advertise before? Billboards, TV, radio, newspaper. Does anybody look at those things anymore? No, people are on the internet. So now advertising is on the internet. It's on Facebook, it's on Google, it's on other websites because people don't read newspapers anymore. People don't watch that much TV, really. Young people don't. And radio, those things are done. And the yellow pages, if your parents, I don't know how old your parents are, say like, how we used to use the yellow pages? Well, now nobody uses the yellow pages. Everyone uses Google. People promising. Yeah. People have, well, I mean, dude, look, I'm aware of this. Like, there are so many scam courses out there. Unfortunately, of course, people are going to think it's a scam at first. And I don't judge that. But if people actually research it and listen to what I'm saying, and then start talking to my students and looking at testimonials, that's how they kind of, realize that it's legitimate. But I understand, like, that's the other thing. I'm not promoting easy cash. And I never do. I'm talking about realistic 6 months of hard work to get an entry-level job, 1 year after that to get a 60K job, and then 3 years to get to six figures. Now, the biggest warning sign is that of any of these courses is when they're telling you you're going to make quick money. It never happens. Like, unless it's a fluke. It's just not how money works for most people. I mean, I've even researched, like, I'm looking into investing. I'm like, there's always a risk reward trade-off. Like, you could trade stocks, and there is a chance that you could find a penny stock or some kind of breakout or a crypto that's going to blow up like Dogecoin, but it's all luck and gambling. Like, those guys who got in on Dogecoin think they're brilliant. Like, yeah, they made a lot of money, but that was a fluke. And then you can't predict the next one. Like, you don't know which of these next cryptos is going to blow up. And there's a risk reward. So now with digital marketing, this is a $1 million skill set over a lifetime, but you got to spend 3 to 6 months and years building it, But yeah, dude, if you have any other questions about the scam thing, like, this is how you have to share something. I mean, I'm giving people real information about this field and then telling them about the course. But one thing I'm thinking of doing is creating a Facebook group. You guys can tell me if you'd be interested in this. I was going to do this anyway, but I was thinking of creating a Facebook group, a free Facebook group for subscribers or even the people that I'm advertising to, or people like who might think it's a scam so that they can spend more time with me and the students, and I can give them some free value and they can kind of get that it's not a scam. But I get why it sounds like that. Absolutely. I got one of those DMAs from early 2020. Cool, man. Well, I'm glad to know the ads work. Look, ads work. I just, it's so this. I don't like ads myself. I mean, if I see an ad, I'm always suspicious, and there are a lot of disreputable people out there. 59. So RG, this is the thing about age. I inspire and encourage everybody to get into this field who has the aptitude and the attitude. That's what I say. It's about your attitude and your aptitude. So I've got, you should look on my YouTube channel, search for Armando. Armando is a retired Marine, who's 51, I think. And he works for Caesars. He's their one of their main SEM specialists. Okay. He works for Caesars Casino and Gaming. He's awesome. He's high energy. He loves it. He's just as good of a worker as anyone else. The only issue with people who are a little older, sometimes I've found, is it has to do with the mindset and the attitudes. Like if you're not tech savvy, if you don't move quickly, you have to have a young attitude is kind of how I put it. But you can have success for sure. I've had people, and I'm 43, I know a woman who's in her 50s who's a freelancer. She does PPC. She loves it. She was working for my cousin Wendy, who has this great niche business on eBay, and she's super high energy. You wouldn't care about her age. It's if somebody shows up and this goes for people who are younger too. If you're young and you show up and you don't have the thirst and the energy and the curiosity and the self-motivation this field requires, you won't be successful. So I hope that. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. It's absolutely. Donnie, thank you for the super chat. Absolutely. I update it all the time. Are you in the class? I guess probably not, because you would have seen it. I update it all the time. The thing about the course is, so this is a strategy, right? The course is a specific goal. A lot of these courses out there, it's like, yeah, you can go on Udemy and get a cheap digital marketing course and you'll learn some stuff. Absolutely. But you're not getting a plan and a strategy on how to get a job. So the strategy in my course, because like I've said to you guys, things have changed in digital marketing in 5 years for sure. But the fundamental strategy for getting that entry-level job is very similar to how it was, because again, the colleges are still doing the same thing they were doing in 2016. They're not training people properly. The companies have the same need for workers who have this, and they need the same basic baseline information and communicate it in the same way. So this isn't something where it's like, oh crap, if you took, you have to like suddenly change the entire strategy. What I do is, there are a couple of videos in the course that I like evergreen. They're like basic strategy, and I leave those because I review them every year, every 6 months, and I watch them and I go, it's the same information. The only thing that would change is I'd re-record it now and my voice sounds different. Like it's the same information. And then there's other videos like Google Ads where I had to update that. I had to update it last year, and I update it regularly because Google Ads is always making changes. They got rid of broad match modified, so now I had to make a whole update about that. Google My Business, we're going to have to do an update on that because they're changing the name of that. And so, yeah, I'm always updating these individual things it's all about what's relevant to the students. Plus, you've got the forum, you got the feedback, you got the coaching calls. So it's very real time. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, I really like the expectations is the real. I think it's like expectations are what screw people up in life in general. Having incorrect expectations. Like I live in Thailand, and occasionally, and where I live on this island, the way they put in the electric lines is not great. Now that's not just Thailand, because I lived in California and PG&E is terrible. So like we had power outages all the time in California, often more than I've had here. But one thing I've noticed about expectations that's so interesting is like, sometimes they will give us an advance notice and they'll say, hey, listen, the PEA, which is like the Provincial Electric Authority in Thailand, is going to be doing work on the electricity on Monday, all day from 8 to 5. And when they give me that expectation, I am fine. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm planning my day out. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to do X. I'm prepared for that inconvenience. and my day is fine. But then if the power goes out unexpectedly, it's a different story. I have to scramble. I have to figure out what to do. And it's a very unpleasant experience. So that's the thing with like anything in life, whether it's a client expectation, you have a client and you try to sell them by saying, hey, we're going to double your sales in 3 weeks. Yeah, you'll maybe get them in the door and get the first payment. And then 2 weeks later, you don't double your sales. They're going to be upset. So with my students, I even try to, it's a fine line, but I try to I'll tell people, especially if somebody asks me like, hey, can I get a job in a month? I'm like, you need 6 months. Now they might be able to do it in 3 months, but I want to have them prepared for 6. Then if they get it earlier, they feel better. And Henry was telling me that too. He's one of my students who has a complete freelance business in SEO. Does the same things. Like you promise, you don't promise, something bad, but you like say like, if you think you can get a 5% increase, you might say we can get a 2.5% increase. Hey, Lennox. Nice to see you. And yeah, I'm excited for you too. Let's see if there's anything I missed. Whew. Wow, I've been talking for an hour. Well, this is cool to connect with you guys. I'm just trying to build up that stamina. High excess real estate. Yeah, real estate. Definitely. People have asked me to do videos about investing. I say, look, I am new to investing myself. Like I've been in digital marketing for 10 years. I've helped thousands of people. I'm an expert on helping people get digital marketing jobs. When it comes to investing, I'm still a novice myself. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes in the last 3 years, but now if I could go back in time to when I was 20, I would have done things a lot differently, or even 10 years ago. And definitely real estate is where I'm turning, just because again, it's real. It's real things you own. It's not, if you're going to, and my basic investing advice for anybody is just like, you got to research like anything else. Like don't put your money into something you don't understand. That's like the biggest problem I think people have. And set your expectations right. I have 2 months, bro. 2 months, bro. 35. I'm just getting into this. No, happy to inspire you, man. 35. You're a spring chicken. Like you're a little, just like 2 years older than I was when I started. Happy New Year's, Taiwo. Yeah, man. I know you emailed me about that position. Look, I think it's awesome you got to that point in the interview. It will happen. Sometimes you'll get the job. Sometimes you won't. It's part of the process. Like rewatch the interview videos I put in there. You want to have fun with it. I know it can be disappointing if you get a job, but if you don't get a position, but that's part of the process. I've been through the same thing. You're not going to always get every job you apply for, but that's why I also tell you guys, don't get fixated. Remember, there's 200,000 jobs. You got to I want you guys to feel like the prettiest girl at the dance. Like, I know it's kind of a dated analogy, but like you have a lot of people that want to work with you is my point. I think what's awesome about DM is that it's a field that can help you in most other fields, real estate. Yeah, it's digital marketing is fundamentally behind every other field. It's funny you say real estate, because I remember actually I had a telemarketing job years ago before I got in here, and what we were selling them Google ads. Realtors in real estate still, a lot of them are still using flyers and outdated methodologies. So you can do, it's so easy on Google. It's not easy, but it's like, it's easier. It's like you can target people by zip code, by keyword. It's really cool. Yeah. I actually go to this burger place in Bangpur here, and it's this nice couple. It's very mellow. It's just a bungalow. They have the best burgers on the whole island. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to help these guys do Facebook ads, spending like $3 a day. It's like, if I can get them a couple more customers, that'll just be fun for me. Oops. So, well, this was a good hour. You guys can ask me anything. I guess it's getting kind of late on the East Coast. And it's about 1:30 today. I don't have any like wild plans today, except going to the beach. I go to the beach every day. And I think I'm out of steam as far as just rambling about. But if you guys have any more questions, yeah, Donnie, I hope I answered that question. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know you could do that. You could put comments up. Oh, that's right. You guys can't. Well, I don't know if can you see the comments? I guess you can. This is me learning how to use YouTube live streams and super chat. But yeah, I do update the class content. I already answered that. And I guess I'll just give a shout out to the other super chat, which was Brendan. Yes, you're welcome. And thanks. Thank you guys for telling me that you appreciate me calling out college, because it's kind of like, it is such a weird thing that like I'm a guy who's single. I don't have any kids, but I still can't stop talking about college. And what a ripoff it is. Actually, you know, somebody asked me, well, I'll tell that story another time. What computer or laptop would you recommend when taking your course? Anything is good. Honestly, these days it's hard to get a bad laptop. You just want something that can surf the web effectively. What I do recommend getting a Windows laptop. I'm not a Mac guy. I don't like Macs and they're expensive. I like Windows. The main difference, and you could get a Chromebook too. I used a Chromebook for years, and it has everything you need except for software like Screaming Frog and Google's Ads Editor. So Screaming Frog is an SEO software that we talk about in the course. And you need Windows. And the Google Ads Editor is also something you need Windows for. But the rest of it you can do on a Chromebook. But it's not get too specific. Like you want to get at least an i5. If you're going to get a Windows, get an i5 processor or up. i5 or i7. i3, the really cheap or Celeron processors, your computer is going to go so slow. You're going to hate it. I went on Lazada and bought a really cheap, like $200 laptop here in Asia, and it was a Celeron, and I couldn't even surf. You just want something that'll move quickly. Awesome, Taiwo. That's the attitude. You have to get it that it's cumulative within the course, okay? I want you guys to get that this isn't like the playoffs in football or basketball where you work your way towards a goal, and then if you lose the 7th game, your season is over and you lose everything. If you get to the first thing that you should celebrate is like the first time you get a response to a resume. That's awesome. That's a huge accomplishment. Then the next thing is when you get a phone interview, and that's an accomplishment. And then the first time you get from the phone interview to the in-person interview or the more longer interview, that's a goal. And it's cumulative. So then the next time when you get to the point where you are like about to get the job and maybe at the last minute it doesn't work out or they go in a different direction, that can be disappointing. But that's the next level up. So you're at the senior level. You've already gotten to the door. So now it's just gonna keep building on that. It's safe to say, as long as we're in a pandemic, more companies will approach to hire remote entry-level jobs. Based on what I saw two different things about entry-level jobs. Number one, some companies completely change their culture. And no matter what's happening in the world, they're going to stay remote. Like I think Disruptive, which Jeremy, if you're still there, Jeremy and Brandon and Carlos work there. They sounded to me when I talked with them and I talked with their human resources people, they're remote now. Like that's their thing. They love it. The employees love it. They've gone remote. Doesn't matter if COVID disappears. Other agencies did want to go back to the office. So it's going to be a mixture. But I mean, I made a video in 2019 about remote work, and I was very critical. People were always asking about remote work back then. And I was like, listen, guys, it's possible, but it's rare. I was trying to give people those realistic expectations. Now I throw that out the window. It's common. Awesome, Noel. Yeah, I think I responded to your comment before. You have 2 months to wait. Yeah, man. Well, come in if you're going to give yourself a time limit on the course. Hey, make sure you're doing. You got to work. You got to put in the hours. But I do recommend you try to be patient because you can't predict exactly when you're going to get hired. And you want to have a relaxed, enjoyed attitude. Like you would have a goal, but don't get too fixated. When you walk into a job interview and you have a relaxed energy, an energy that says, I love what I'm doing. I'm going to be a great employee. I'm going to research things on my own. I'm teachable. That's what people want. People don't want the energy of like, I got to get a job. So it's an art like anything else. You learn to do it. But yeah, man, I think it's a great to have that goal, and I think you can achieve it. Just don't put too harsh of a time limit on things. That's my advice. Unless if you're somebody who thrives under that kind of pressure, go for it. Got an old ThinkPad T430. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. It doesn't sound that powerful of a computer. Thailand is great. I could probably do Thailand. They reimposed the quarantine for visitors, which kind of stinks. I mean, they had a whole scheme going where you could come in and one night you had to stay in a hotel for one night if you were vaccinated, but now they got rid of that because of this new thing. But there's more tourists here than ever, which I don't personally like, but it's good for the local economy. I'm on an island, guy, so I'm not in Bangkok or like the mainland, so I can't really say what's going on in like mainland Thailand, but it's busier now. I still love being here. I love being on the island. I love that it's 80 degrees in January. The best weather on this island is on my birthday in January, so I'm happy about that. Versus when I used to live in the States and my birthday would come and it would be miserable out. Still going to the beach. I'm very grateful that I do everything online. I mean, if I didn't have this online stuff, this would be tough. This would be tough. Yeah. And I still love it here. I'm still, learning the language a little bit. And I like being in another country. It's cool. Awesome, Donald. I'm glad you liked the new video. I have not heard of Zoom to Thailand, but I will. Let me take a look. That's very interesting. Beautiful pool sharks. Yeah, I think that guy is probably living more of a conventional, I don't know. I don't do a lot of the conventional stuff here. A lot of people come here, they do this, that, I don't drink, I don't party, I don't, and honestly, I haven't traveled that much in the country. I'm thinking of going to one of the islands here. But again, unfortunately, like my friends and I have been wanting to go to Bangkok, but every time we kind of gear up to go, there's some new issue with travel. But yeah, it's I am so grateful that this is where I ended up when everything started happening. We still don't have too much of a problem with, as Aaron would say, the root beer float. Happy New Year, Delta. So again, I haven't done too many of these. I've been talking for a while. I'm going to rest my voice for a minute. You guys are welcome to leave a couple comments, and then I'm going to start winding it down. I'm going to get some water. I have not seen the new Spider-Man. I actually, they just opened the theater back up in the mall here, and I thought about it, but I heard it's good. I will see it at some point. Happy New Year, Ja. One of the things I really like about Discord that I'm excited for is these study rooms, because I was inspired by this other study group where you just have 20 people and everyone's got their webcams on and nobody's talking, but you feel like you're in a library. And that's a cool feeling. I used to go to the library when I was in high school or even college. And I always loved it because, you're working on your own thing, but there's all these people around. And I think that's really cool, especially these days. 12-week year book. No, I'm not familiar with 12-week. Ryan P. Morgan. Huh. Well, I'm not familiar with it. Tell me what it's, if it's beneficial to you, feel free to share about it in the group. Looks like a cool concept. What is that? 12, get more done in 12 weeks than in 12 months. Well, Yeah, I'd be curious what they have to say. I mean, for me with the course, I'm like, I think what happens in the course, I think a lot of people overcomplicate it. Now, when I made the course and my energy, a lot of it does have to do with your energy level, um, and being able to have sustained focus. But I think if you've been in the course for a while, like one of the biggest problems people do run into is imposter syndrome and mindset, because what I'm telling you to do is actually not that complicated. I mean, it does take time to learn Google Ads, SEO, and do these assignments. But like one of the biggest pitfalls people have is they literally just don't follow the assignments in terms of taking the experience, putting it on the resume, applying the way I show you. And you don't have to do, like, if it's helping you organize your time and doing the course, that's great. But just remember, guys, don't overcomplicate it if you're in the course. Like, you don't have to take what I'm teaching you and then do your own version of it. Like, just do it, even if you don't understand how it's going to work. Found the study Discord because of your video. Oh, the study Discord group. Good. Yeah, that study, some of those study groups are cool. You know, there's thousands of people in them. But yeah, man, if the 12-week year thing helps, I mean, anything, it's all about if it works or not. And it sounds like a cool concept. My latest movie, I haven't made a movie since Wally Got Wasted, but you can go to Tubi. I'll put the link in. I'm actually running some Facebook ads for it. This is a link to my movie. I don't know if you can click that, or you can just go to Tubi and Google Wally Got Wasted. It's free. Yeah, man, that was in 2017. That is 5 years ago. Blows my mind. That is crazy. Donnie Tyler. Let's see. The major goals in 90 days and doing weekly keystone habits. Well, I would say this. Yeah. If towards the course, when I made the course, and I'm not a very like organized person, like in terms of scheduling, if it helps you stick to what I teach and say, I'm going to get this done by this time, then that's fantastic. Donnie, the course, have you seen the webinar? You want to have context for it, but the course is, it's $797, which is ridiculously cheap. And, my competitors are charging $3,000. I've seen these boot camps for $15,000. They don't have a single testimonial. I'm going to be raising it. I'm not sure exactly when, but it's underpriced. And when I do raise it, I will put in a more long-term pricing payment plan for people. But like I have, people come to me and they're like, I just spent $5,000 this other course. It didn't help me. And then they take my course and they get a job in a few months. Or Kayla took one of these boot camps for $13,000. She owed them an income sharing agreement. And she didn't get a job. They took my course, did a few of the things I say, got a job. Then she has to pay those guys $13,000. She only paid me a few hundred. So you go to digitalcareerblueprint.com/level up. Level up. I just say that because like it's an interesting thing to teach people about getting a job, because like there's a whole niche of entrepreneurs out there, and like there's these guys who teach coaching, like how do you want a coaching business, and those people are just like more in the mindset of like, I don't know, it's kind of a hyped up, like I'm ready to buy stuff mindset. Now, if you're looking to change jobs, or careers, I understand the fact that you are probably not in the best financial situation, or you're looking to improve it. And it's an interesting place to be, because on the one hand, you do have these degree programs that are charging insane amounts of money without delivering results. But because they're accredited, people sign up for them, or because there are student loans available. People will take out $30,000 in loans without thinking about it, but they will, overthink spending $800 on an online course, which I kind of get, because people don't know me, and they have to build up the trust by seeing all of the results and listening to what I'm saying. But it's an interesting thing, because like you want to help people, and you're going to find this, guy, when you open your own business, you want to help people, right? When it comes to your pricing, though, you have to be rigorous. You have to be respectful and healthy. So like I was charging very little when I started this, and it got a lot of people into the course, and it was very exciting in a certain way. But after a time, felt awful. because I was giving away too much value for too little. And I was giving too much of my time, and I was feeling sick and stressed out. That's why I had to raise the price, and I have to raise it again. And I'm at a point now where it's a decent enough price, but it needs to be further, because people are getting $50,000, $60,000 a year jobs. And if they pay me $800, even if they paid me, if you make $30,000 in your first year and you pay me $3,000, that's 10% of your first year's salary that you paid. And it's still less than you've paid any of these boot camps, which is $15,000. So I have to keep adjusting this for the value, and when you guys are charging people for your services, like in the beginning, it's cool to charge people very little, but you're out there, you got a local business and you help them triple their revenue, and they're paying you $100 a month. That's not right. That's not sustainable. They should be paying you thousands of dollars a month to help you make that much. So it's an interesting little back and forth about it. Thanks, man. Thanks, Ja. And I love, again, the word of mouth on the course, and the fact that I've been able to manage it so passively has allowed me to keep it low. That's another thing that we used to talk about a lot, is these colleges and universities, in some ways, I don't really sympathize with them, but they have so much overhead. They have to pay for those stupid buildings and their stupid campuses and their stupid administrators and their stupid president. And all that cost gets passed on to you, so that, this stupid, certificate program that doesn't teach you anything practical, or you don't even really learn about SEO until you're 2 years in, costs $60,000. And they're making a big profit. But with me, it's very lightweight. But now I've added on a lot of, I've got my coaches, I've got the Discord, I've got, the continual results and success. It has to be adjusted. And I have students. I have a colleague of mine, Ben Robinson, who does the bookkeeping business launch. He is similar. He's got great results. People aren't making $60,000 a year as quickly as they are with my course, but he charges $2,500 or $3,000. He has one option where you actually get coaching with him, which I may include. But it's a $2,500 program, and there's a 12-month payment plan. And that's something I might lean towards in the next few months. When I do change the price, I will make a big announcement, and I will also give people time to get in. I say it's like getting Amazon stock, like early. You get the course for $800 instead of $2,000. Let's see. Focus. If I could go back in time and talk to my 20-year-old self, what would I say? Well, that's a great question. I don't know what I would say to my 20-year-old self, because I don't think my 20-year-old self would listen. See, that's one thing I've learned about the hardest part about being young is your listening ability. I had people when I was younger giving me very good advice. Not initially, because I came, people would say, go to college, get a degree. But when I got out into the world, I have the mentor I still work with today, Joseph. I mean, he gave me great advice from the very beginning. I have had 3 mentors for 20 years, and I just couldn't listen to them when I was young. I was too impatient. I was too immature. I tell myself to be patient, to be more appreciative, to follow through on things. But it wouldn't have made a difference just because I didn't have the emotional core. I just didn't have the ability to listen. I had to work out some things, but it's a good question. I don't think I've heard that question before, and I've just thought of it now. I think that's something people don't think about. You'd like to look back at your 20-year-old self and think you would have done things differently. You wouldn't. You likely wouldn't, because you were a totally different person. I found a video. Someone sent me a video of me in 2003. You guys, something that's really crazy is we take for granted is like how photographed we are, how documented our lives are now. Back in 2003, I lived in Hawaii. I have no pictures. No, I made a bit of an effort. I didn't want, but back then you had to buy a camera. Your cell phone didn't have a camera. So I didn't have any pictures. But one of my buddies, Bob, who lives in South Korea, he had found a video of me from 2003 when I was 25. And it was pretty crazy. I mean, it was like looking into the past. Anyone that grew up in the 80s and 90s, there isn't that much video. And I saw a video of myself, and I would see the energy on my face, and I was a different person, man. I mean, I felt like compassion. I was very confused. I was like arrogant but insecure, and I just looked troubled. I hadn't matured. So that guy at 25, I don't know what he would have been able to absorb. It's a good question. Hey guys, looks like we're kind of winding down the. Yeah, my mentor just sent me a Happy New Year message. And then Brendan, you asked, do I miss New York? I don't. Well, actually, I wish in 2018, I visited New York City and I met 5 or 6 of my students, including Donald and Nick and Dre and Mithala and Cynthia and 2 more I can't quite remember off the top of my head because we haven't stayed in touch that much. But I think Diego. And I really enjoyed that. And I loved being in New York in the winter. It was fun, exciting. Um, I miss New York and my country in 2018, 2019, before all this stuff. But as far as New York and the States, I mean, I haven't been compelled to come back yet. And I'm glad you love the video on meditation. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. One thing I like about Doctor Strange is I love the spirituality getting mixed in to it. I think that's cool. Like spirituality being showcased as a power, not some weird, thing. Yeah. Huh. I have achieved the level of fame that I love. Nobody in the general public knows me, but a few people do. I would never, I'm friends with Improvement Pill. I don't know if you guys know. I won't even tell you his real name, but like, actually, I've never met him in real life yet. We're supposed to meet up at some point, but he was very intentional about hiding his identity, and he's got about 3 million subs, so he's kind of famous. So I think he was smart about that. And for me, I like being somewhat visible. Yeah. So guys, looks like if anybody else wants to comment, you're welcome to. Looks like No Limit is asking a lot of questions, which I appreciate. But I think I'm going to start winding this down. Top 3 film directors. That's a good question, man. Tarantino. That's tough. I mean, the top 5 I could do, and then I narrow it down. But Tarantino's always been one of my favorites. I love the Zucker brothers. They did Airplane, The Naked Gun, comedy. I love Woody Allen. I know he's been in trouble lately, but his films are still hilarious. Hitchcock, of course, and Christopher Nolan. I love Christopher Nolan stuff. Who else? That's a really good question. I guess it's kind of conventional answers. I mean, I like Scorsese. I like Spielberg. I'm trying to think of someone a little more off the beaten path. Jim Jarmusch. I actually met him when I was in my 20s. Jim Jarmusch is an indie film director who I like too. So I can't really give you my top 3. Will I travel to Europe as a digital nomad? I would have if it weren't for our little root beer float friend, our little pandemic buddy. I probably would have. Yeah, thanks, Brendan. Good luck to you too. Yeah, I really am not interested in going to Europe now. It's just not a great place to be with all the stuff happening. But I've never really been interested in Europe. I like Asia more. And I like islands and beaches and nature. Speaking of that, it is now sunny out again. It was rainy earlier. So I'm gonna go. These things are cool, though. I mean, I like talking. I mean, I'm like sitting in my living room talking to myself. If somebody didn't know what I was doing here, it would look like I'm talking to myself. So if anyone has any last comments, put them in there. But I'm gonna take off, and I'll respond to them. But it's been good hanging out with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the live stream, and I hope you guys all have a happy new year, and I will see you around the internet. Okay.